Hi, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm Elizabeth, and if you've seen my other episodes, this is only my third one. So if you've seen the other ones, I appreciate you more than you could ever know. But we're going to talk about my making journey and all the things that entails projects, acquisitions, finished objects, and a little bit of life stuff too. So you can find me on Instagram as Angel's Cottage, and you can find me on Ravelry as Arcania, and you can also find me on Etsy as Angel's Cottage Shop, which we'll actually be talking about that in this episode. We haven't talked about my Etsy shop very much other than to let you know that I have one, but I actually have been working on some stuff for the shop, so we'll get into that later. But first, let's start with my works in progress. I have a lot because it's been, I think I filmed my last podcast episode in September and it is November 7th today. There's a lot of things that have been going on in my personal life and it's kind of set me back in ways of recording, but that's okay. I don't mind it at all. And I hope that you don't mind it either. So, my works in progress. Ooh, just causing yarn avalanche over here. Um, Works in progress. This is one of them. I think I mentioned in the last one that I was doing a test knit for this sock. This is the Mystical Madam sock by Lizzie Bell. I'll put the link up here somewhere for the Ravelry and whatnot, but because it's out now. I tested this in September and I finished it in the time frame, but I only finished one, so I got to cast on the second one and get going. But that's a work in progress. Another one is this scrappy blanket, and this is I'm doing the pattern. Ooh, hold on. I'm doing the pattern Catnap Blanket by TL Yarn Crafts, Tony Lipsy, and I'm just using any scrappy blanket yarn that I had left over because I was going through my closet and I have a lot of this blanket yarn, this really thick, bulky yarn, and I like to work with it, but none of it was enough to make a blanket on its own. So I decided to kind of just put them all together, and it's going to be a blanket for my boys, and they don't mind all the different colors, but it's getting pretty big now. I started this a couple weeks ago. I want to say like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I work on it on Sundays, but I also work on it when I need a comfort thing at night where I just don't want to think about stitch patterns or anything like that. Just go, go, go. So I've been working on that. And then I'm, oh, I grabbed the wrong bag. I'll put a picture of it up here because I have a Tunisian shawl called Find the Path shawl. And I've been working on that a little bit here and there, not as much as I want to, because I want to get it finished. It's so beautiful. I want to wear it, especially because it's finally starting to get cold. Today's actually, I think, the first sunny day we've had in like, I want to say 4 or 5 days. It's just been raining, and we get like 2 days of sun, and then it's going to rain again for a bunch of days. But I just want to have that shawl done because I want to like bundle up in it, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I'll put a picture here because I didn't bring it up here. I thought I did, but I grabbed the wrong bag. And then I cast on a pair of socks for Halloween. So I cast on this Halloween sock very last minute. Literally, like my husband and I were laying in bed watching Yellowstone at like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and I was like, I want to cast on a pair of Halloween socks. So I used Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co's Love me some pie sock set that they did in collaboration with lots of other dyers for Pie Day this year. And so this is Darkness and Love Me Some Pie, and it's supernatural theme base. And I just have to show you this little pie stitch marker from Tiddly Bakes. Perfect if I say so myself. But I'm gonna do an afterthought heel on this, which we'll talk about that in a second when I get to finish objects. But um, that's one of my whips. And then I'm working on the second sock for this one. If you remember this one from the first pod, I think. Oh my gosh. This is the Sock Broker Light by Alicia Mae Higgins. And I had to recast this on because I was working on it and my kids were playing around by me, and one of them got tangled up in the yarn and didn't know, and they were like chasing each other, and so a bunch of stitches went flying off, and it was on a point where I couldn't really recover it. So I've got the working on the heel flap here, but I've got some of that patterning in the front there. Not too far into it, but I'm hoping that next podcast it'll be done. We'll see. Don't hold me to that. And then another whip I'm working on slowly but surely. If you remember this box, let me pull it up. If you remember this box, last time it was full of just mini skeins. Oop, there go the squares. It's full of mini skeins that my husband had dyed as an advent calendar for me last year. It now is half full of mini skeins and half full of little teeny solid granny squares. And there's a bunch of them in here, a bunch of different colors. And they're going to go into a Battenberg blanket that I'm working on for my husband because if I think I mentioned it on the podcast. Oops. I think I mentioned on the podcast that he was asking me what I was doing with the gauge swatches because he wanted me to put them together into a blanket or something. And so I had been thinking, oh, what can I do with those mini skeins he dyed for me last year? And Nitty Natty was doing the Battenberg blanket, and she is traveling around right now. I don't know if you follow Nitty Natty, but she's traveling around right now. So she's not able to work on it or finish it. And I thought, that looks like a cute blanket. I want to do it too. So, and it's a really good way to use up all of it because I think she did an additional round just like I did, but she's using, I think, a bigger hook than I am. I'm not sure, but I know that my squares and her squares aren't the same. Our gauge isn't the same. And I tried and tried and tried to make it the same, but because I was like, I'll just kind of follow what she's doing. There's a couple other colors that are in this box while I talk. But that ended up not being a good way to go for me because it was too small and I wasn't using that much. And even doing it the way that I'm doing it right now, I think she was able to get six squares, sorry, from her minis that she was using, and I'm getting 7. So our blankets are going to be different, similar but different, which is fine. They were already going to be that way because I'm using different yarn, and I have more squares floating over there, but you kind of get the idea. And then that's pretty much what I've been working on. I still need to look and see. I'm pretty sure I do have more of that particular base because it's a superwash merino, 20% nylon, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon base. And I'm pretty sure I have more of that that's just waiting for me to dye it. So I'm going to probably dye that eventually in order to finish this blanket because I'm going to use that whole skein to make probably more than one whole skein, if we're being honest, to make the neutral colors. Oh, goodness. Make the neutral squares that go with the colored squares because the Battenberg blanket, and I'll put a photo in here somewhere, is multicolored square, like a tonal solid, and it just kind of is like a checkerboard, but it's based off of a cake, I believe, that they have in England called the Battenberg cake, where like it's usually like a small cake with four squares in it, and usually it's like chocolate and vanilla. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. For finished objects, I actually finished up a couple of things. So hold on, let me gather this up because things are scattered around over here. I think I've got everything. So my oop oop oh my first finished object is a sock. Pair of socks I made myself, but I only brought one up here because I just don't have a ton of blockers. So this is the Hertz sock by Dana Ray Makes. Maybe I'll get it together by the end of this pod. But this is the Hertz sock by Dana Ray Makes. Dana Ray Makes. Oh my goodness, you guys. And this is a Cozy Cauldron Co. colorway, and it is Spring Snow, and it's beautiful. I love it. I think it turned out really great. And then another sock I finished was my husband's vanilla socks in the colorway Beltane. Again, I only have one up here because I don't have a bunch of blockers. But there's a pair, I promise. And this is just the vanilla sock, 9-inch circular, size large, nothing crazy. This one I did a size medium. And then this one, and actually I'll take off the blocker because I did an afterthought heel. This was my first time ever attempting it, and I just love that the sock folds up like that. I think it's so funny. But obviously it's a self-striping, and I didn't want to mess up the patterning. And I thought it's time I learned how to do this because I have quite a few other patterns that I want to make in my queue, if you will, that call for an afterthought heel. So why not test it on a stripy one? So this is Boiled Potatoes by Nomadic Yarns, or Nomadic Yarn Co. I'll put it up here. I apologize. And this was a very spontaneous podcast. And this is an Oopsie colorway by Sorella Yarn. It's supposed to be one of her Halloween ones, I think. But I thought it went really nice together, and I love the self-striping. Might be hooked because I think I'm going to make my kids each a pair of socks with this. We'll see. I'm pretty sure I'll have enough yarn, and then possibly myself as well. But I also have a couple other self-striping ones that I want to get going on, so I need to knock out some of those projects so I can do that. This was a test knit. This is the Shadow Singer Shawl. I don't think she's released the pattern yet, and I'm not sure she will by the time I put this video up. And I'll insert a picture of me wearing this because that was terrible to hold it up, but not to hold it up, but you're not seeing what it really is, but it's a cowl that goes on right here, and it hangs over the back. If you wanted to, you can wear it side saddle with the wings on one side, or you can tuck it in. But I was very grateful to be tested for that, and I did that in the Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. Constellation colorway. One of my favorite colorways she's ever made. And then I finished this little ghost for the shop. Very, very cute. And then I made these pumpkins. They're also for the shop. Originally, I was gonna, look at that, I can fit them on one hand. I was originally gonna make these for a garland that I was gonna put Um, I don't know how to explain it, but I was gonna hang it up on this wall, and it was gonna be like 24 feet, something like that, and that's a lot. And I was gonna make leaves and pumpkins and acorns, and I made like 4 leaves, and then these pumpkins, and like an acorn, and I was like, I don't know how committed I am to making this garland. So, oops, runaway pumpkin. But these, oh gosh, there goes another one. These are in the shop. Um, they're very, very cute. And then another thing I made for the shop is a pie coaster. So maybe I'll insert a picture of um, it underneath the mug, I guess. But this is pumpkin pie, chocolate pie, lemon pie, and cookies and cream pie. And these are all in the shop. Um, and if you happen to go look at them or buy them, you might see them in this silver thing and be like, what is that? So basically, you can buy them individually or you can buy them as a set of four. If you buy them as a set of four, they come in a holder and it's supposed to be a pie tin. I don't know if that's really coming across, but made that. Then I also made this coaster. Of course, if you buy it, it doesn't have to be a coaster. It can be whatever you want. But it's a mouse pumpkin, and I love it. I made a honey bear mouse and sent that off to my cousin. So I have to make another one to be able to show you. But I also have a turkey mouse, and I think it's really cute. So I finished these for the shop. They'll probably be in there by the time this video goes live. They're not in there yet because I'm working on another one, but I'm having a couple issues with it, so I've got to work on that. Let me look at my notes here. The last thing that was finished that I can think of, there's probably stuff I'm missing, but my husband made more yarn bowls. This is a cat bowl, and on the inside it says to knit or not to knit. Because that's in black, I'm not sure if that'll come across, but I'll insert a video clip in here. Of it with yarn in it because it can hold one cake of yarn. But I also have this one, and this is obviously a skull bowl or yarn bowl. You can use it however you want to. Put your keys in your wallet and whatever when you come in the house, if skulls is your thing. And the same thing could be said for this one, but this is more of a bowl and this is somewhat more of a yarn bowl with the holes there. But anyway, my husband made these for the shop, and I'll insert a video in here somewhere. There's also a crack in here, but that's supposed to be there. It's literally the design in case you order it and get it and you go, in the world. Um, but yeah, I'll insert a video here, or a little bit before with a cake of yarn in here because this is the same thing it holds about a cake. And it came out really good, and I like it. And I think that he's going to make more for the shop. So if you buy anything from the shop, I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my heart. If you don't, that's okay. Tell your friends, tell your family, who knows. Um, but these, the yarn bowls, are going to be on pre-order because obviously it takes time to print them. So if you order one, it could take my turnaround time for now, since there are no orders for it yet because it's not listed, is going to be about 4 weeks. If I have to push that out, I will update the listing. But if for some unknown reason I get a crazy amount of orders and I have to change it midway through, then I will let you know. If your order was one of those that got caught in the transition time of 4 weeks to maybe 6 weeks, I will let you know ahead of time about that. So let's move on into acquisitions. And there's a lot here because, as I said, I recorded the last podcast in September, I believe, like mid to late September. And it's November now, so October has passed. And so there's pre-orders that came in, mystery yarns that came in, some advents have shown up, and something I've been waiting a while for actually showed up, and I'm very happy to see it. So let's start with that. The flock bag. So if you remember, if you happen to see my first podcast, I went to flock this year, the inaugural year of flock, and I had mentioned in there, excuse me, I had mentioned in there that by the time I got around to the merch booth, these were sold out, and that I pre-ordered it. Well, it came in, and it's huge and sturdy, and it's lovely. It has a zip top, and it has a pocket in there, and this would have fit everything I got with no problem. So I got this bad boy for next year, which by now they have announced the new location and I think the dates of Flock 2024, and I'm super excited. So next, let's talk about stitch markers. I got this from Maven Crafted, and she does a lot of things, but in this instance, tiny embroidery for stitch markers. And I think they're really cute. I missed out on the trio, but that's okay. I'm just grateful to get these ones. Love them. Haven't gotten to use them yet because they've been sitting up here waiting for me to do the pod, which we're doing today. Okay, next, as far as stitch markers go, from the Littlest Charm Co., I got a whole bunch. Let's start with this one. Hang on. Let me put these down. We'll do it like this and hope it's good enough. If it's not, I got you. I'll do an overlay. But this is a Ghost Stories stitch marker. And it looks like a little book with a ghost on it. And then I got this little ghost with a cauldron. And then I got this pumpkin, raccoon pumpkin. And then I got this, I think she calls it a cottage triceratops, but it's a little stony diner with a mushroom, and then on the back there he's got a frog, and it's super cute. And then I got a turkey, because Thanksgiving is coming up. Very cute. And then I got this, I don't remember what it was called. I know it's a macaron, but it's like a ghost tombstone macaron or something like that. Very cute. And the last one I bought is this mouse pumpkin. Now, I guess the order was delayed. I didn't even notice. Um, because a lot of things were happening for the shop owner, and that's fine. I don't mind. But she went out of her way and gave me 2 free ones, which she totally didn't have to do. Life happens to all of us, and I'm very understanding about that because obviously, like I said, it happens to all of us. But those are her stitch markers. Um, let's talk about Yarnable because I actually have 2 because I checked the mail this morning and there was Yarnable in there. So we will do last month's first, and in typical fashion, we'll do all the little extras and then we'll do the skein. So I think this was October's, but it's 2 cookie cutters. It's a skull and a bat, and it's from thecountry.kitchen.com. And I like how small these are actually. And then we have a pom pom, and this is from Nor'easter Pom Poms. And what I like about this is it has these strings, right? So you would push this through your hat or whatever you're using a pom pom for. Just I don't know if people use pom poms for anything else. I always see them on hats. Oh well, these types anyway. You push this through your hat, and then it has a. I don't know if you can see it because it's black, so I'll just take it off. Like this thingamabob, and you push those ties through, and then you push this through and let it go how tight you want the pom pom, and then that's what keeps the pom pom in your project. And I'm sure this has been out there for a while, but I've never seen it. I was like, oh my gosh, my little mind was blown when I opened this this month's Yarnable. And then another thing that they gave us was Halloween black tea. It's got apple pieces, vanilla essences, black tea, and rooibos tea, and it's enough for probably a cup of tea. And the last time they gave us tea, I think, was last October. It was like Raven tea or something. And my husband loved that actually. So we haven't tried this one, obviously, so saving it to show you on the pod. But now that I have, I will try it. And then they also gave some stitch stoppers, and I thought they were very cute. Love that. And then the last thing is this cross stitch pumpkin in a matchbox, which is so very unique, but it's basically a cross stitch kit, has everything you need in it to make a tiny little pumpkin. Very, very cool idea. So now onto the yarn. If you've heard me talk about Yarnable before, it's a subscription box and they send you goodies like that in addition to a skein of yarn or 2 skeins of yarn, or they have sock weight, DK weight, they have all kinds. And I get the deluxe, which gives me a skein and a half. So this month's skein and a half is Spellbound. And Sorceress's Secret. Beautiful. Perfect spooky vibe. And then let's I was going to do the yarn right now for this month, but let's just hold off for a second. So next up is the Montana Moments minis. So this is the inspiration picture that Ashley of Montana Crochet took. And then this is the minis. Very pretty. And that is the last installment of the Montana Moments. I'm a little sad, but I'm glad that I got it. And then next is my Fangirl Fibers Disney Attraction Club colorway for last month. And this is Tower of Terror. And it's obviously based off the ride that used to be in California Adventure, but is currently in Hollywood Studios, Walt Disney Studios Park, and Tokyo Disney Sea. Now let's do the Yarnable for next month so there's no confusion. So the extras here are 2 tags. I think they're faux leather, I'm not sure. The 2 tags are very cute by Fox and Pine Stitches. And then a sock soap, or really just like a wool wash. And this is by Little House on the Homestead in the scent Cinnamon Spice. And this smells really nice. It's quite fragrant. And it smells like it's got a little bit of orange and cinnamon and clove in there. And it's quite nice. This one is by Angela Rose Studios, and it is Cinnamon Swirl Candle. And it smells so good. It smells like you just stuck your face in a Cinnabon. You know, really great. And then, again, I get 1.5 skeins. So the main skein is Sinful Delight. And, you know, I'm a speckle girl, so look at those speckles. Look. Beautiful. And then the secondary that goes with it, in my case, is Cinnaberry Blush. And I can't wait to make a pair of socks with this. So I'm glad that we're recording it the day I got it so I can get cracking. So next we'll go into normal acquisitions. I placed actually 2 orders from Cozy Cauldron. She had one more of that spring snow left on her 85% extra fine superwash merino, 15% nylon. So I snatched that up. And with that order, she had done a trunk show for a yarn shop, and she had some extras left over that she brought home, so she did an in-stock order. So I got this one, and this one called Copper Turquoise. And it's really dark green rooty, and it's got some rust and some dark brown in there. And honestly, since it's fall, I'm in a Harry Potter mood, so when I saw this on her website, it reminded me of Slytherin colors. And I am a Slytherin house. So here we are. I'm going to take a drink. The next one was from her Halloween pre-order that she did. And she brought a couple of colorways back that she's had in the past, including Frankenstein's Bubblegum. Now I have 2 of these because last year she did Frankenstein's Bubblegum, and then she had a mini set of like 5 or 6 minis, and these 2 were colors that were in that. And this year she didn't do that because it's a lot of work. But my husband he saw me adding this in the cart, and he wanted his own. He wanted this mini. So I have 2. And then she has this colorway called the Headless Horseman. Very, very beautiful. A little pop of orange in there, that deep burgundy Merlot, and oh, love it. And then this one, she gave me a free stitch marker, but this one is called Crunching Leaves, and all of these have been on her soft sock base, so 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, but it's really soft. It's like, I think 3-ply, and it's really nice. This one is her soft DK, so it's also 3-ply, but it's 100% superwash merino. Now, I got this because, doodles have been on my mind for like ever, especially since Flock. But I haven't found a Halloween kit that was traditional Halloween colors that I absolutely love. So my intention was to put one together myself, and this was my starting color. I love that it's not just solid orange, it's like orange and deep burnt orange, and it has like a little bit of rusty red in there, and it's really just nice. But I haven't put the rest of that together yet, so we'll see. And then Woolberry did a pumpkin pre-order where she brought back pumpkin spice latte and her pumpkin pie colorway for Pie Day this year. I already have the Pie Day one, so I got pumpkin spice latte. And say hello to my little friends, the speckles. So that is lovely. Put these over here actually. And then Moonglow Yarn Co. had a pre-order for her Spellbound sock colorway, and I have been, if you're hearing a clinking noise, my husband's 3D printer is printing something right there and it bumps around a little bit, so apologies. I've been coveting this since last year, and I hoped and I prayed that she would bring it back, and she did. So I got myself one. Don't know what I'm going to make with that yet, but I can't wait. And then next is this haunted mansion. I don't know if it's going to come across very well, but it's a haunted mansion themed sock blocker, and I got this for my husband so I can block his socks on it, and it's themed. Fangirl Fibers did this a while back ago, and I'm glad that I got it. It says Foolish Mortals, and it's got the Hatchet Bride right here, and the Hitchhiking Ghost, and some bats. Okay, next up is Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. She did a pre-order of favorite colors this year, and she brought back some favorites that people voted on. So let's do Constellation first. This is Constellation. It's a deep navy blue, and it has these pops of like lilac-y purple in there, and it's got some gray and little black speckles that probably aren't going to come across on the camera. Beautiful. Love it. Might be my favorite one she's ever done. And its pair is Zodiac, which is a dark blue. And these are on her 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And then I got Harbinger because I collect her black yarns, apparently. Every time she has darkness in the shop, I think I grab one almost every time. And now I have Harbinger, which is an even darker black. In fact, I don't know if this will read on camera, but let's try it. This is Darkness, and this is Harbinger. I can see it here. This one is definitely a deeper, richer black. I hope it comes across on camera. So I got Harbinger, And then I got New Moon, which is a deep, dark, plummy purple. I know what you're thinking. You just showed me two of the same skein. I promise you, I didn't. I didn't. And then I got Current, which is one of her colors that she had when she was still rocking Mountain Yarn Co. All these are the same base. Fingering weight, 15% nylon, 85% superwash merino. This is Scree. And this is Watershed. Oh, hold on. Okay. Sorry. 3D printer went haywire. Anyway, so this is Watershed by Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. And it just has a lot of depth to it. It's gray, it's dark green, it's got like greenish speckles and black speckles, and it also has some brown in there. And then the last one, she gave me a stitch marker with, by the way. Love that. Is the Nagini. It's the main skein. And then this is New Moon. And Nagini is like, the best way I can describe it is an oil stick. It's like, got some black in it. It's got some rich purple in it. It's got some of that like dark teal and yeah, and some blue. I love it. And then since we're on the topic of Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co., I also got in the last Coven Club colorway. I think this is based off of, yep, Alter and Candle Flow. So this is Alter, and it has speckles, so I'm happy. I'm always happy anyway, but if you give me speckles, my little heart just like. And then this is Candle Flow, and she gave us a stitch marker. Love that. I got 2 Halloween advents for my husband this year, and I think the best way is to do like a little video clip here because how can I possibly hold up 31 yarn skeins? So the first one is Haunted Mansion Themed by Fangirl Fibers, and she did 31 Nights of Halloween, I believe it was, is what it was called. And I'll insert a picture or a video here. And then it had some extras with it, some pens, some chocolate that's already consumed, and then it had a pattern in there, which obviously I'm not gonna be able to share that. That's fine. But there was also some sticky notes and a couple other things in there. So I'll put a picture here. And then I also got Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. had a 13 Nights of Halloween based on the Addams Family. And I also got that one for my husband. And it came with some extras. So I'll put that in here while I'm talking about it. But I think both of them ended up being, both advents, I should say, ended up being on 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon because they both feel the same. And typically, I think Fangirl Fibers is 80-20, but I was happy either way. I'm not super picky. So there's that there. And then I bought 2 skeins off of D-Stash that I have here. And this person was kind enough to gift me 2 mini skeins too. So this is DK Weight by Blue Fiber Co. And this is S'mores Camp 21 from when Ken Yarn was still doing yarn. He did Camp Ken, I think it was called. And I regretted not getting this because it's the colorway S'more and it's very pretty. And she happened to have it for D-Stash as DK. So I thought I could make something with that, and I really love it. And then this is a Yarnable It's raspberry cream. It's from February of last year, I think it is. But it's their plush sock, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And to me, it reminds me of like chocolate and berries. And then the two minis she gifted me. This is a worsted mini, I think, based on this little tag. I have no idea who the dyer is. And it's called Shale, or maybe that's their base, I'm not sure. But it looks like it is possible this is hand spun. I'm not sure. I really wish that I knew. Um, and then I don't know anything about this. There's no info, but it's a pretty mini nonetheless. And then I think the last thing I have for acquisitions are these two advent boxes. So, um, this is from Woolberry, and I think she did 3 levels of a Book Society box. I think there was like a sock, a sweater, and I'm not sure about the other one. I can't remember. And to be honest with you, I ordered this in the middle of June when I was in Colorado and had completely spaced it. So when I got a shipping notification out of nowhere, I was like, I didn't order anything. What is this? But I did. I just completely forgot. So it says here, do not open until December 1st, but if you do, I won't tell. And that's all I get to show you about this for now. Um, obviously, I'll show you in December. I don't know. I want to try and do Vlogmas, but I don't know how that's going to go because I work full time and I can't really vlog at work. So it's going to be like me maybe vlogging in the morning, like getting coffee. I don't even know if I'll open advents in the morning because I have a few coming. Um, but then it would be like me maybe vlogging what I do when I come home. I don't know. We'll have to see because I really wanted to do that. I love watching other people's vlogmases, and it's definitely something I wanted to participate in. Now this came today, and it's from Coast to Coast Yarn Co. And I think this is a countdown to New Year's, and it's a coffee themed advent. So I think there's, oh, I can't even remember how many mini skeins are in here, or a full skein. I'm the worst, guys. Um, bought this a while ago too, and I think it has a certain amount of mini skeins and a full size, and I know it's got coffee in there. But yeah, I can't wait to open this. I told my husband the Wolverine one came first, but I was like, the one I'm supposed to open last came first. So we had a chuckle about that. Um, Reading, listening, watching. I'm not listening to anything right now. No podcast or anything like that. I am reading From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. It's my first time reading it, and I'm not putting a lot of time into reading right now. So I'm only able to read it at night when I put my children to bed. I could make time, but I'm trying to hammer out some whips, um, and also to try and make some stuff for the shop. So I haven't been dedicating a lot of time to reading. Um, but Iron Flame came out today by Rebecca Yarros. I haven't started reading that yet, but I'm going to as soon as we're done here. And I'm looking forward to that because she left it on a really big cliffhanger, to be honest. And then I finished Attempted Rescuing by LG Estrella, and I hope that he has another one that he's writing. I don't remember if it said that that is what he's doing. But yeah, I'll probably be starting the second House Switch by Della Mott, because there was three in that series, and I finished the first one either in the last pod or um, between the last pod and now. And it's a cute little cozy mystery. And ironically, my husband actually picked out one that I think is going to be funny. I haven't started it yet. It's called the 12 Suspects of Christmas. And it's about these two little ladies who go to Paris around Christmas time and murder happens. And it's another, like, I think, cozy mystery. But he was like, it's Christmas, it's Paris, you do a little lady stuff. And I was like, thanks. So I'm going to start that eventually. And then watching, I'm not really watching a lot of Friends right now because Matthew Perry passed on October 28th, and it's been hard to watch that. And I know some people think that it's ridiculous to get very sad about a person you don't know or a celebrity, but what matters is how they touched your life, and he impacted mine through the character of Chandler in a very big way. Um, we are watching Yellowstone though. I got my husband back on that train. We're all the way up to season 4. He doesn't want to do anything else, but he has to because obviously, like, we can't just sit around and watch Yellowstone all day. Um, but that's pretty much it. If you're still here, thank you so much. If you liked this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of any time I post a video. Thank you, friends, and I will see you in the next one.